Well, hello, gamers, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Today we're playing, not a black screen, we're playing Stoneshard, which is a game where you live in this sort of like war-torn land and you accept mercenary contracts from like local elder, village mayor types. And then you go do those contracts and you get cash and you spend your cash, blah, 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 etc., etc. You're a mercenary in a crazy, like, unforgiving, hard world. Right now I'm accepting a contract from this guy. He says something about sacrilege against his ancestors, blah, blah, blah. Basically, I'm gonna go kill a bunch of zombies, and I'm gonna do it by going up over here to Raven Hill, which is thankfully super close. I'm gonna go walk over there. Normally there's also sort of like an arming up period where you just kind of like, make sure you have like food and medicine and all this other stuff. I kind of already did that before we got started here, so we don't really have to worry about that. And the next period in this game, the next thing that we do in the gameplay loop is, we went into town, we got our quest, our contract, whatever. The contracts are repeatable, but there's like side quests and stuff too. And then, we go to the place to do the thing, to fight our fight. But first we have to make sure that we're well supplied. And oh my god, there's like all sorts of stuff you can get. Like obviously there's food. You can also like pick up some food in your travels. There's an absolutely ginormous world map in this game. It's absolutely huge. There's all sorts of stuff to discover. As you can see on this character, like I haven't seen like anything here. Like I've been to the big city, I've been to a couple towns, but there's just like all this map to explore. Like, oh, I have this quest to find a herbalist in this hermit hut over here. Dude, there's just so much stuff. Oh my god. And on the way, you can run into enemies out here, but you can also like collect bird eggs and like you could just like hang out. You don't even have to go to town. If you wanted to, like there's a character in this game that could probably just like hang out in the overworld and like hunt deer and stuff and sleep in clearings and that sort of thing. All right, I got to take a left at this intersection. And so yeah, I mean, managing your money and oh yeah, there's like a caravan that you can buy upgrades for. I'll show you all that later. But managing your supplies and your money is huge because when you're in the dungeon fighting the bandits or the zombies or whatever, trust me, you're gonna want to have some good supplies. And let's go absolutely whiff our spell here. Let's go hunt some deer, but using the most rare hunting weapon, magic. And this deer isn't particularly smart because he's not really running away. Get him, hit him, magic. Burn him, get him, come on. Dude, how many times do I have to electrocute this deer to kill it? There we go. Bam, we killed a deer. Now there's like, there's sort of a trick to hunting, like, you have to like butcher the animal. I don't even think I have a knife on me. I don't really remember how butchering works in this game because that's not really my preferred play style. I'm all about the money. I'm all about getting these coins, crowns. I'm all about the crowns. I was gonna say all about the Benjamins. Doesn't really apply here. They don't really have paper money. But you can like hunt, and I could butcher that body to get like antlers or something, or like meat or whatever from it. I don't really do that in this character. If you couldn't tell, this character is a wizard. And they specialize in hurling magic at people. In this case, fire and lightning. There's also like geomancy right now. And there's a bunch of other stuff that they're planning on adding, but they haven't got in the game yet. God, I gotta stop saying so much. And this is wizard gameplay right here, classic wizard. Kite him, bring him in, but this isn't necessarily the only way to play because that's sort of the main element of strategery in Stoneshard. Like, there's so many builds. There's all these, one second, let me show you. Look, there's all these skills. There's like a ton of different weapons you try that all like handle differently. See, there's all these different sorts of magic. Currently, they only really have 3. I like electromancy because it really incentivizes that sort of like kite them down and stun them and push them back type gameplay. I use my spells, I lose my energy. And if you use too many spells, they can backfire and hurt you. Yada, yada, tell me if you've heard this before because it's actually a bit of a unique combination, but using stuff that like I've seen in other games, which is pretty interesting. But anyway, let's not get too, reviewery. Let's walk over to this crypt and do some actual, get our actual job done because that's really the core loop of the game. You're in the town, you buy stuff, you talk to the elder, you get your job, you go to the place where the bad guys are, you clear it out, you do the job, and you go back home with the loot, and you turn in your contract and you get oodles of money, and you actually get paid like pretty well. And this is honestly the overworld, if you play like just doing your contracts straightforwardly for the most part, is actually kind of like the more boring part of the game, if I'm being for real. Because it's just kind of like clicking over long. Like, this is actually a pretty short travel. This is only like, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's only like 5 hexes I had to go through. I could have taken a shortcut, but I wanted to follow the road because it's easier. But like, you'll get some contracts that are like super far away. And man, just like clicking and watching your guy kind of hop along does get a little tedious sometimes, even though you do run into little challenges along the way. But anyway, that part's over now. We're here at the crypt, and as you can tell, it's creepy. You could, if I brought a shovel, I could dig up this grave. I'm not a huge fan of that. Oh, I guess you can dig it up with your hands. I don't really want to do that. That sounds yucky. But as you can tell, this place is creepy. It's got trees growing out. It's got ravens, you know. You have ravens or crows or whatever those are in a graveyard. You know there's the undead in there. You know it's creepy. And I mean, just look at this entrance. It's old as hell. It's overgrown. There's definitely something bad going on in here, and that's why they sent us. Let's take a look at what our contract actually is. Undead Tide. Manshire, which is the town we were just in, is plagued by rumors of the undead overrunning Raven Hill. I need to head there and do everything I can to put every last... Oh, I need to... This is one I actually haven't seen recently. I have to kill every single... Or I have to re-unalive every single enemy in this entire dungeon. And other times there will be other stuff like you have to get rid of a certain named enemy, or you have to like rescue a dude or something. So this is a bit different. And as you can see here, we have some enemies. They're like really varied enemy types. Like this guy, it's a risen watchman, though honestly the undead are, I mean, there's like spirits and stuff, but they're generally kind of straightforward. It is just unalived man who is in a state of decay with some kind of like old-timey weapon, you know, that's seen better days. God, how much have I hurt this guy? The thing about the undead though is they are like very resilient. They will take some punishment. And as you can see, we, being a magic person, do not want to, oh, get me out of here, please. Get me out of here. Come on, any second now. I'm clicking on it. Oh, because I'm bound. They bound me. They stopped me from moving, but it's all good. I'm out now. And this is one of the primary ways that you live in this game. If you play the game fairly, and I mean, right there, maybe I could have taken those guys, but it was a risk. This game is all about risk management. If you fight your enemies fairly, you're gonna die a lot, and it's not gonna be fun. You really have to like use your abilities and whatnot, and honestly, more just like use your brain to carefully prepare and play each encounter smart. Because honestly, that's kind of one of my main criticisms of this game is that like, you just don't get a lot of abilities until you get like really far into it. Oh, damn, what is that? Small ghoul. People curse during their lifetime turn. Oh, okay. Well, he's pretty dangerous. Not an ideal enemy. So I'm gonna hit my, as you can see, I got a few abilities here because I'm only like, what, level 5? I'm level 5. This is like a tier 2 dungeon. The dungeons kind of have tiers. Like they get harder and more interesting enemies appear. And the further you get in the game, the more abilities you unlock and the more interesting enemy types that you see. And you can inspect any enemy and like you can see their abilities. Like this guy, he can eat corpses to regain health, that sort of thing. And also he's probably a little faster, more dangerous than this guy who's just a zombie peasant with like a little knife. A little cute little knife right there. But anyway, I have a few abilities. This ability that I got, it just kind of empowers my following spells. And then I have this spell I've been using a lot, which throws a bolt of lightning. This spell, which shoots some fire and is missing an awful lot right now. And I have one that sort of does electrical damage, but up close. And as you can see, this ghoul actually, that burning got him pretty good, and he got spooked. And that was my close-up ability, where if they get close to me, it shoots them back, and then he gets hit with sort of like an electric dot. So now I should focus on this guy, even though I'm at half energy, which is like, ugh, you know, not ideal, but I think I can take him out. The more spells that I use, the more likely I am to hurt myself with my own magic. But this guy, I mean, he's a zombie. He's a peasant zombie. He's not that dangerous. I'm just gonna beat him up with my staff. And this ghoul over here is still just cowering in a corner, which is very undead-like. But hey, got him. That was pretty easy, actually. And we're going to continue to do stuff like that and clear out this entire dungeon. That is the plan right now. And along the way, you know, we kill these guys, we get XP, yada yada, get more levels, get more attribute points. Like I put a bunch into willpower over here, so I can get more magic power and less ability energy cost. And oh yeah, also you get like ability points, which I'm holding on to my ability points because I need to invest 2 more points into some attributes before I can get the next level of like electromancy, and I want to save my ability points for that. I mean, I could get some cool passive abilities here in Magic Mastery, but I really want to just like in a couple levels explode in power by getting like 3 or 4 electromancy and pyromancy abilities and just becoming an absolute beast in like at like level 6 or 7. So yeah, you can also like, but that's not all there is to it, you know. You can also go to the big city and buy a bunch of books, and I'm probably just overloading you with stuff in this game. So let's just focus on clearing out this dungeon right now. As you can see, every now and then I'm like stopping and hitting this examine surroundings button to make sure I can find traps. And I also have a crowbar over here that I just used to crowbar that ancient door open. So I can get to this sarcophagus, which has some semi-valuable horns inside of it. It definitely does pay to invest in a crowbar before you go into the ancient crypts, just as it pays to invest in some garlic cheese bread, which really fills you up. Damn. The downside is that I am virtually out of food now. You have to make sure to bring enough food to feed yourself, you know what I'm saying, when you're going into a very desolate ancient tomb. What do we have here? Oh, man. I also have to say the pixel art in this game, fantastic. Absolutely love the art in this game. Like, you can even put together, like, these dungeons are all procedurally generated, by the way. Like, if I restarted this dungeon for some reason, then it would be completely new the next time that I showed up in it. Like if I loaded from a save or something like that, or if I died and then had to restart it from the beginning. But I mean, look at these. Even this procedurally generated room shows you like a little story of like, why is this dude dead on this table? Was he sacrificed? He's got candles around him. Some kind of ritual was performed here. And it kind of makes you ask questions about the world. Like, there is some world building in this game. Like, there's that war going on that I mentioned, and there's some factions that I think you can choose to side with at some point. This game isn't finished in development yet, but they do have some very interesting ideas. It's been in development for a hot minute, let me tell you. And sometimes, you know, that really comes into effect in the gameplay. The world itself is a little more than just a backdrop for you're, you know, a magic person or like an armored knight type mercenary who goes into dungeons. Like, there's a little bit more to it than that. Wow, actually, I'm getting pretty good with this wizard guy. But I recently discovered magic characters. Magic characters are awesome, as you can tell. I'm doing the classic magic, you know, see 'em, kite 'em, run away while your spells are regenerating, and then shoot them whenever your spells come back, because my spells have a cooldown. Like, this jolt over here has a 2-turn cooldown, and this one has a longer cooldown. So, you know, I hit him with the jolt bolt, the bolt of jolt, and then I run away until I can use it again, and then I just keep hitting them with that, and it can knock them back, and if they get close, I hit them with Impulse, and that absolutely destroys them. But anyway, we've got a new enemy here that's interesting. A Risen Monk, who's like kind of a bit of a spellcaster enemy, which is interesting. This is only the 2nd tier. The dungeons go at least to the 3rd tier that I've experienced. I just started picking this game back up. The last time I played it was like years ago. But man, it's just been getting better and better over time. They recently had an absolutely ginormous update. And there's like more characters that you can choose from. So, you know, there's more like viable builds that you can do. I'm just gonna, you know what? I'm just gonna crush this guy with my staff. He is honestly not that much to be afraid of. He's just kind of like standing there. He probably wants to use his magic on me. Yeah, that's what it is. Because he is garbage up close. And I absolutely crushed him. Oh yeah, and if you really need to regenerate really quickly, you can use that rest mode. And because I've been absolutely massacring this dungeon, your character also has like morale states, basically. And because I've been doing so great and I haven't really been taking damage and I've been killing a lot of monsters, my homie is feeling very optimistic right now. My, God, what is their name? Jana the Runaway Sorceress, which is a pretty great character to pick if you want to try magic. They're feeling really optimistic because I'm absolutely destroying it. I get all these bonuses like extra experience gain. So if you're doing better, if you're doing well, you tend to keep doing better. But if you're doing bad, then your character starts feeling, you know, a little pessimistic, maybe a little paranoid, and that might not necessarily help their outlook, which is like how they're trying to kind of, another little ghoul, how they're kind of trying to simulate like, yeah, well, your character is a human, you know, like they are going to experience emotions when they're out there, which is, I mean, kind of reminds me of Darkest Dungeon, if I'm being for real, where they really kind of factored in emotion a lot in that game. But anyway, if you haven't played Darkest Dungeon, don't worry about it. Right now, we're just kiting this ghoul down, absolutely murdering them with electric bolts. I do not want to let them get close to me because ghoul sounds scary. And here we have, this is like a pack of rats or something. Yeah, Rat Swarm. The last time I fought them was in the prologue. They are really, they're very squirrely enemies. There we go, got rid of the Rat Swarm. And you get a dead rat. And you can butcher and cook the dead rat, but I would not recommend that. It's pretty high chance of making you sick. Speaking of stuff that you can butcher and cook, you know, you've already seen me eating food over here, but you have healing items like the salve. So like if you get hurt, which I definitely will be later, just like in, you know, games like Escape from Tarkov or all those, you know, PvPvE type extraction shooters, there is like a limb-based damage system, so different limbs can get hurt. Like if your legs get hurt, you're not going to be moving great unless you can like splint that leg up and give it a bit of time to heal, or you can like use some healing salve to like increase the amount of healage on each limb, and the more each individual limb is hurt, then the less maximum health that you have. And if your guy isn't feeling so great, like they're not like their morale isn't in the best state, then you can, you know, drink some booze, which will make them a little drunk, but at least, hey, they'll feel apparently 3% better if you give them this fortified wine from Manshire. And this also, I have this on my wizard character because it adds energy replenishment, which is nice if I'm running really low on energy and I'm in a tough spot. I can just take a big drink of that and hopefully have enough for a spell or two that'll save my life. And if I get super poisoned, like if I step on a gas trap or something, speaking of that, gotta keep looking out for traps, because it's right when you stop looking for traps that you step on a trap and it gets you. That's why I brought the antidote with me now, because the last time I forgot to look for traps, like that one right there. Well, what do you know, a trap, which I could disarm with a crowbar, but it's honestly cheaper to just remember to not step on them than to use up all your crowbar charges on traps, because I have a lot of doors to open in this crypt. Anyway, I forgot what I was even saying. The point is, it's pretty sick. I found an enchanted item. There's a lot of items to find in this game. Like, as you can see, I have a backpack on my back, which I replaced a cloak with, because this guy, since he's got an ability where I want to carry books on him to make my magic stronger. So, you know, storage space kind of important for him, but storage space is always important if you're trying to, you know, if you're trying to profit max every single one of your excursions. And the way I see it, you know, the more I risk my life, the more money I better be making. And that is not a bad attitude for a mercenary to have. Speaking of risking my life, we've got a whole nother crowd of guys. But okay, all right, this is a pretty scary group right here, because we got Doganar, the Torturer, some sort of human necromancer guy. Let's see what he's got. He can steal health and energy from an undead ally. Okay, so he can like heal himself with all those undead he has around him. Binding Sigil. Okay, he can sort of like, yeah, he can like link his life basically to that of an allied undead. Not good. And he can reanimate slain undead. Okay, so just as I was getting a little cocky there, here's this guy. And he's got like 4 other undead enemies with him. And I'm not gonna lie, this is not like a great scenario. Whiffing that spell is also not super helpful right now. This enemy we have right here, okay, yeah, he's like buffing that monk. This enemy we have right here is also, let's go, hopefully that helps. Oh my god, he just resurrected a ghoul behind us. Okay. Alright, I was hoping that me using my short range ability to start electrocuting these guys would get them killed pretty quickly, and then I could probably focus this guy down, because he's just got a couple of weaker enemies next to him. But now I have a ghoul who's at 2/3 of his health and energy right beside me. Here's the thing. I do not exactly want to get into a big melee. This guy isn't incapable in melee, but I don't exactly want to be in melee. He's also bleeding, which is not great. One of those hits I took must have hit something. Yeah. Yeah, he's also bleeding. I mean, I have bandages. I have bandages that stop bleeding. You always got to have some bandages on you. It serves to come prepared. But this is one of those, you know, turn-based roguelike moments where you think, like, man, it's probably a good time to sort of step back and evaluate the situation. And you can tell, like, the game also, I don't know how they know this, but they can tell. Maybe it's because there's a boss guy in sight of me and fighting me, but they really amped up the music on this part. All right, I've used my impulse. That has a very long cooldown. I guess I kind of have to kill these guys in front of me as quickly as possible. So let's hit that guy with the staff. All right, they're getting pushed back by the impulse. I have to try to kill this ghoul quickly because I feel like this guy, his res ability is on a very long cooldown. But I'm already taking a ton of damage. Man, this is not good. I can't really, like, move back. Hopefully I can push this. Okay, I pushed him back into the fire. That was lucky. And now he is on fire and at 10% health. This zombie is, damn, doing better than I hoped he would. All right. I also gained a level mid-combat, which is pretty sick. I might actually win this one. I think I really wanted to willpower max on this character. I was thinking about getting perception. Dodge chance is also, and move resistance is also pretty good. Getting 5 points of agility. That is a decision. You know what? Getting 20 willpower seems like definitely a good bet. So I'm going to do that. I don't know if that's optimal, if I'm being honest. This build is probably not super optimal. And I'm still, man, maybe I should get like a staff skill. Get a staff skill like mid-combat. Oh, but then again, I think next level. Yeah, next level. Anyway, I'm distracting myself from the situation at hand here with boring level up stuff and like stats and abilities. This is one of those games that you can easily just like look up. You can intuit like what's good here. Oh, it's a magic guy. Get willpower. You know, it's not that hard. I should probably, if I demolish this torturer guy real quick, then I'll probably be good. Also, you can notice that every time I walk away, this guy gets an attack. There's like everyone gets like a 50% attack of opportunity chance, so you can't just like run away if an enemy is in your face. All right. I think, oh, this guy is health linked to this risen monk, which isn't great. But the zombies are dumb, and also the AI in this game is very like indicative of the characters they're playing. Like if a bandit will walk around fire, a zombie will just walk right into it. I think I'm just gonna beat this guy. Oh my God. Okay. Wow, that guy demolished me in melee. Holy hell. That is not awesome. This peasant's almost done for. And hit him with the impulse. Hell yeah, and now they're both being electrocuted. The monk missed, perfect. All right, I can probably kill this guy before he can res again. And then hopefully I can just like leave. All right, get rid of that zombie. Oh my God, I'm at such low health. 33%. Do I have anything for this? The boost is only really good for energy. My bleeding just stopped on its own. Yeah, my torso is super hurt though. See, decreases max health threshold. That's why my max health, even if I make it out of this alive, is gonna be pretty low until I use like time or healing salves heal you. Man, I don't have that many options. Hopefully this pushes it back. Perfect. Gives me another turn on the dot. 22% health. I guess I kind of have to try to exchange blows with him. Oh man, that hurt pretty badly. All right, hopefully push back. Yes, push back. Ew, stupid monk. All right, hit him with that, and he's down. Let's go. And this monk, I'm going to choose to, hopefully he misses me if he tries to hit me. But that's it, that's the big threat. I mean, really, the necromancer guy, that might have been a situation where it would have been better to just kind of run away. But if I just ran away, then that necromancer guy was going to start resurrecting all those other undead in there, and that was not going to be good. Ooh, I have a minor torso injury. All right, we can talk more about healing and stuff now. So this minor torso injury, despite this being on my torso, you can heal that with a splint. And you see they healed a bunch of my torso damage. And those tend to happen when you lose a lot of health on one limb. Like if you get crit or something like that. I must have eaten a crit to the torso. You can see everything that happens in this combat log down here, but I don't really tend to look at it. I usually tend to deal with the consequences. So my torso is healing, which is epic. I just had to give it a bit to stabilize. And you can see we lost some damage on all these limbs. So I'm going to use some of this healing salve to heal that up. And now you can see our maximum health just skyrocketed back up. So I'm going to wait here until my torso stabilizes. And then get back inside. And I kind of want to finish this quickly because I am running out of food. Come on, torso. Stabilize. I'm getting impatient, torso. Whatever, man. I'm just going to go back in. Generally, this is a game where you really want to be risk averse. More risks, not good. It'll really serve you well because, well, I mean, we'll see if I die in this. I've been doing pretty well. I'm going to switch characters here in a bit. I'm going to show you a non-magic playstyle as well. But when you die, you go back to the last time that you saved. And you only save by sleeping. And you can, like, save on the go by using bedrolls, which are, like, a big, heavy, consumable item. Man, this guy's really... Good thing I ran from him before. He was hitting me more than I thought he would. There we go. That stupid bolt is effective. Oh, that was the last guy. Let's go. Contract complete. But yeah, you can only save by sleeping. And, you know, you generally only really sleep in towns or at your caravan. So dying effectively means, like, you're restarting back where you last, like, basically, like, rearmed and rested at. Which, honestly... I've lost hours of gameplay to that because especially later on, they made the dungeon. Oh my God, there's one of them out here. Okay, well, good thing he didn't pop up when I was healing out here. Jesus Christ. Stupid ghoul. Oh God, if I die to this ghoul, I'm gonna be so pissed. All right, impulse, get out of here, ghoul. Jesus Christ, you see how squishy this sorceress is? Oh, I'm also in pain now. I'm gonna get out of this graveyard before I run into any other enemies. And it also serves to retread your steps when you're heading back to town, because generally you'll have already gotten rid of all of the random encounter enemies. Nothing hurts worse than clearing a big, long, nasty, and difficult dungeon when you make it out by the skin of your teeth, and then you get murked on the way back to town by, like, some bandit out in the wilderness, and he gets your, you know, your +10 cloak of butt whooping that you got when you were, you know, that super rare drop that you finally got and you wanted. You got it out of the crypt, and boom, then you lose it to this guy before you can get back home and take a little nap to save your game. So yeah, that's really what makes this game, like, hardcore. That, and also the fact that you, like, really gotta prepare by bringing items. Like, you can die by stepping on a poison trap, especially if you're already hurt, if you don't have an antidote on you. But if you have an antidote on you and you step out of the gas before the poison kills you, boom, antidote up, you're good, you know? So preparation really helps a lot in this game. And, you know, so does just... playing it cool, playing it safe, and that's the way it goes in a lot of turn-based roguelikes. But you take one wrong move, do one thing a little bit too impulsively, and bam, you're back to the last time that you slept, like 2 hours in a whole dungeon ago. And the dungeons, that was actually a pretty short one. They get, like, multi-level, they get, like, there are, like, bigger enemy encounters, like more difficult combinations of them. Like right now, like in this sort of earlier stages in the game, the biggest like challenge you get is, oh, they have ranged guys and melee guys. Damn, that's difficult. But later on, it gets even more hectic. But you also get access to more, like, you know, more consumables and whatnot, and you know, it's pretty great. Anyway, let's head back to the old caravan. Oh, my guy's hungry, or excuse me, my lady is hungry, and have a quick snooze, so we have a save, and then we can go turn in that quest, because we murked every single undead in there, and we can also get some nice foodie, you know, and restock on all the stuff that we need, and also maybe sell this unidentified two-handed axe, which might be worth some cash. Fortunately, I do not have an identity scroll. Oh yeah, speaking of stuff, As you can see, I have a few items in here that you can use to upgrade your camp to give you bonuses, like that training dummy over there. I have to get a couple of straw. I got to remember to buy that in town. But if you set that up in your camp, then you get a plus 3% experience bonus, which is epic. That's why I bought it the moment I saw it. And I got that tent. I got a rope, a spool of thread, and more straw. I guess everything needs straw. Straw is like... Straw is the universal construction component of medieval times, I guess. But then, you know, sleeping in camp gives you more of this vigor status effect that you get when you sleep for like a long period of time. Like I'm gonna sleep till 7, and that saves our game. Good thing. And you get this effect, which gives you, you know, just like better energy and restoration. You don't get sleepy as quickly. You will get sleepy if you don't sleep for long enough. So you have to make sure you don't get the wariness status effect. You really do have to take care of your guy. This is honestly like a bit of like a survival game as well. That's sort of like part of the hardcore element. But anyway, my woman over here is thirsty and hungry. So let's bring back to town and show you the wonderful town of Manshire in the Bryn March. First, let's go and get paid for risking our lives most dangerously. Here's the local elder guy. About my contract, I'm done with the contract. Yep. And there's also like a reputation system. Yeah, my reputation in Manshire has reached the point of benevolence. I think you get better prices and stuff. And there's a ton of characters everywhere to talk to. Like this woman over here. I guess she's not a particularly interesting one. She doesn't even have time for rumors. But there's like merchants and stuff you can talk to. Like there's this guy over here. Oh yeah, you have a strange accent, blah, blah, blah. Oh, they're not from around here. And they tell you about the world. There's like a Viking land, and there are elves, which are like, you know, very foreign in these parts, and they speak a different language. There's the cartman over here. There's all sorts of people who offer services, and some of them have some interesting stuff to say about the world too. Doesn't super factor into the gameplay all the time, but hey, what can I say? It is fun to, you know, get a little bit of lore and get a little context for all the dungeon delving that you do. But the dungeon delving and the fighting and the combat system really is like the main part of this game. Oh, he won't buy an unidentified thing, but he will buy metallic objects and gems, the blacksmith. And yeah, not everyone buys everything. You have to like sell to specific people. And you know, some people give you better prices and yada yada. I'm gonna go talk to the monk and get identification scroll for this axe. Anything for sale? He does not sell identification scrolls. Okay, bummer. Maybe the merchant has one. They carry scrolls and weird stuff like that. Maybe he might even have a book, actually. This is the local merchant. You can tell by all the gold stuff that he has that he doesn't sell vegetables like this woman or cheese like this woman. He's selling, you know, the kind of weird stuff that we want. Like, yes, identification scroll, which luckily is pretty cheap. And anything interesting? Disenchantment scrolls are for like cursed items. And he sells like this is also like a camp upgrade item. And this is the bedroll. You can sleep out in the wilderness, but you might get ambushed if you do that. So, you know, you can kind of save out there, but it comes with risks. You know, if you're really... Oh, I actually need rope and thread for one of those upgrades. And then I just need like 4 straw. And then I can get a couple camp upgrades, which is excellent. And I just got paid, so I can definitely afford all this stuff. Hopefully there's like a... there should be like a stable boy or someone around here who sells straw. But anyway, let's sell this axe first, because it's taking up a lot of space. And we also need to get fed. Identify this axe. Okay, it is not very good, so not really worth lugging around or identifying. Oh, damn, I don't even think they even want it. Damn, it does not sell for much. This is a decent two-handed weapon if I was a two-handed weapon user and I got it repaired for the low price of like 33 bucks. So I mean, not a terrible find, but not something that's really useful to me, and it doesn't look like anyone's buying it. So I'm just gonna chuck it in the street. And let's go get some food and then call it quits on this character and go to a different character. Food, I mean, food is also like, there's so many different status effects and whatnot that you can use to min-max your character and how you operate. And food, a lot like, you know, booze and potions and stuff that you can drink, is one of those ways. Like, you see, you eat one of these guys and you get like an effect for a certain amount of turn. I mean, you eat one of these guys, you eat one of these things and you get an effect. Like, if you eat these pancakes, like, you know, before you go dungeon delving, you want to make sure you have a nice belly full of flapjack, so your fatigue restoration and your energy will stay good for the next 480 turns. My sanity and morale is going up because I ate a nice bowl of lentil soup. It's very important to keep yourself well fed with all sorts of expensive and nice foodstuffs. I mean, really, if you think about it, food in the real world is really just a buff item. You know, why would you seek out having a fantastic, luxurious meal if not to, you know, buff your meal satisfaction stats? Oh yeah, and also there's this crafting in this game. I haven't really gotten that much into it. You can craft like armor and stuff, but hey, if you have the right ingredients that you find out there, you can craft food. Check it out. Fried eggs. What do you need for fried eggs? 2 eggs. Well, I got these random bird eggs. Cook. Boom. Fried eggs. Eat that. There you go. Boom. So also, those random ingredients and herbs and stuff that you find out in the wilderness can also be super useful. But anyway, let's call it quits on our mage over here, and let's go to our other character. For a medieval mercenary game, by the way, this game is also very gender forward, and it just so happens that both of my favorite characters, Jana, the sorceress that we were just playing, and Arna, the knight, are both female. They have interesting backstories where, like, Arna's dad needed a son to pass the line on, but they raised Arna as a boy so that she could inherit the title, but then she lost it all to schemers or something, and that's why she's a mercenary now, like trying to regain her prestige or something like that. And she starts off with a suite of skills that, unlike, I mean, eat that bread, that unlike our sorceress one, the sorceress, you know, she starts off knowing stuff about pyromancy and electromancy and all those antsies that make you real good at like supernaturally destroying stuff. Whereas Arna is a bit more straightforward, and she starts with, you know, like knight skills, like skills in swords, skills in some other types of weapons. Yeah, two-handed swords and maces and two-handed maces. Which, you know, as different weapon types, they're good at different things. Like two-handed maces, good at ignoring armor, and they do high damage per hit, and they have some crowd control effects. Whereas one-handed swords, you know, you pair them with a shield, so better for defense. I want her to be well armored, so I like the defense. But they can, like, you know, they make you more mobile, and you can like cut people down with them. Honestly, me investing in swords, considering they're more of a mobility type weapon, not ideal. I actually started playing the sorceress this time around because I realized that I hadn't built her. I think Arno would do great with like two-handed maces. You know, just waiting in there, covered in plate armor, like a female Robert Baratheon, absolutely, you know, bashing people in the head while covered to head to dome plate. That's my character fantasy here. But a woman, which is cool. As you can see, by the way, the fantastic looking pixel art. This really is a beautiful game. And you can see even the little idle animations on these people over here. Oh, they look absolutely fantastic. If you love good looking pixel art, I'd say this is a great game for that as well. But you can see the effects of the war over here. People talk about it. There used to be more guards around here. A bunch of them got killed. And that's why everyone needs a mercenary right now. And Arna definitely fits the bill. So I'm gonna go sell off these charcoal chunks to blacksmiths who obviously use charcoal. Arna, though, unfortunately, is pretty broke. I spent her last windfall of money on a new set of armor so that she would be ready to take on the next set of contracts. And I've got some food and some magical elixirs and whatnot. And let's go re-engage the core gameplay loop. Oop, hit a wrong button there. And get a contract to do. So we have some more undead ones here. Let's do something different since I already showed you the undead. The undead, excuse me. We're gonna fight some bandits, or as this guy calls them, brigands, because they're growing very brazen, which is not good. We don't want brazen brigands. We want our brigands to be very meek, very demure, you know, very much like not getting in your face and ambushing you on the road. Oh yeah, they gotta jump on a guy, and now we need to rescue him. So this is a hostage rescue quest. We accept it, and we have to go all the way. That's a totally different quest at our care, but see, this one is actually kind of far away. We have to go like southeast and then all the way over here. So, oh boy, it is time to do some walking. I better buy a little bit more food with whatever meager money I have. They are out of food to sell. Okay, well, that is another effect of wartime, is there's not a whole lot of food to go around. But I can at least refill my water skin here at the well, because trust me, just as much as you don't want to starve, you're also going to want to not go thirsty. So this game, I mean, has a lot of strong survival elements with those sort of special, that sort of specialized healing system, and a lot of different sort of variables that you need to keep track of to make sure that you stay combat efficient the whole time you're out there. Like, you have to make sure that when you're in town, you get enough sleep so you don't end up being sleepy when you're out in the field. You have to make sure that before you do go in combat, you want to make sure you're eating like a nice type of food so that you get those buffs. You want to make sure that your character, even if they're healed, isn't in too much pain if they have wounds, because pain will make it harder for them to fight and concentrate. Because even though this character isn't a magic character, they still benefit from having energy, because these abilities that they have, these sword abilities that I'm going to show you, they will also require energy to use, and if you run out of energy, it cannot be the most helpful thing. But luckily, if you're heavily armored, you do depend on your armor quite a bit, more than you do on using energy and abilities, because armor actually makes it so that, as you can tell by these excellent stat sheets here, they actually give you less energy and energy restoration, because I mean, it's just so dang heavy, it's got to be sapping your strength constantly. I don't know if I could fight literally anyone covered head to toe in plate armor. If I was covered head to toe in legit heavy plate armor, I think I would be lucky to walk across a room, nevertheless have a full-on sword fight. I don't know if you've ever seen those videos where it's like armored MMA, basically. I should probably maybe gather a little extra food while I'm walking. We'll see if oh, here we go, blueberries, great. But anyway, it's like armored MMA, and these guys, oh, can I not eat this? Oh, they make you thirsty. Whatever. You can craft fodder with them. I need to get more in depth with the crafting system, but I do love that this game does have a crafting system. Arna would be a good character to craft with. Anyway, there's this armored MMA where it's like two people in full reproduction suits of armor from the various medieval ages when people legitimately used armor, suits of plate armor, to fight each other. And they have these blunt weapons, and they're in an octagon, like regular MMA, and they beat the absolute hell out of each other. Oh, there's another grave that we could dig with our bare hands, which will ruin our gloves, unfortunately, or hurt our hands. Or we could dig it up with a shovel if we had one. I'm not going to bother. Arna's a bit too honorable to be a grave robber. Thank you very much. But as I was saying, the armored MMA stuff is crazy. They get gassed so quickly if they really go full bore. The endurance you would need to fight someone else in a suit of armor is incredible. There was a king of England who had scoliosis and fought to the death on a battlefield in a full suit of armor. I can't imagine how difficult that must have been for that person, but I mean, that's what you gotta do when you're king, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, hopefully I've yapped enough to make this somewhat dull travel segment where I'm just clicking and watching my Arna just walk across the map. Hopefully I've made it somewhat enjoyable, because we're here at our destination. We're here at the point of interest. All right, it's not telling us what the name is, but like most bandit areas that you go to, bandit spots, I guess, bandit places, they're centered around an old fortification that's kind of gone to ruin, and they're like, oh, well, we're very violent people. We like forts and stuff, and because the powers that be who own these cities and these towns don't have the manpower to not even keep these fortifications clear of bandits, nevertheless occupy them. The bandits have kind of just moved in because, hey, it's got thick walls, so probably better than just pitching a tent out in the middle of nowhere. And see, here's the thing. Here's where it's tricky to be a melee character right now. Because with the mage, I found it to be incredibly easy to approach a situation like this as, all right, I will kite and blast them with my magic, and when I run low on energy, I'll keep running until they stop chasing me. But as Arna, as a knight, I have to engage them in melee. So, and the bow guy also complicates that because he can kind of plink me with arrows. So maybe if I run away, I can kind of get them to string themselves out, because I really do not want to fight 4 or 5 dudes at the same time, even if I have better armor than they do. Now, if I make it to the edge over here, sometimes running off of the edge of the map actually helps a lot with getting them, helps a lot, excuse me, to get them to stop chasing you. I gotta take a drink of water, jeez. I've been motor mouthing for like 45 minutes. Getting them to chase you, it gets them to stop chasing you sometimes. Sometimes they will continue chasing you off the edge of the map. But as you can see here, I think I've actually strung them out a bit from what I can see. So I'm gonna use my War Cry ability to demoralize this guy and also give myself a sick Battle Rage skill. And then I'm gonna move forward and he moves forward into me, perfect. Because he's got a spear, so that gives him some reach. He also has an ability to throw a net, which for a caster type or a range type or maybe like an archer hunter archetype, because that is also another type of character. There's a lot of great character builds you can make in this game. That's one of the things that makes this game great. What makes this game great is the amount of different builds you can do. But they can net like a sort of ranged kiting type character in place, and then that can be the death of you. But luckily we have this guy in melee range, so let's swipe him with our sword. And we also can riposte if he tries to hit us, and he missed us with the net. Don't know why he's trying to use the net from up close. I'm gonna keep hitting him. I have a couple abilities. This one damages a lot of enemies in front of me at once. And this one is good against enemies who have also a melee ranged weapon. It's not good against spear enemies, because if basically I back up and then hit them if they keep chasing me, but against the guy with the spear, he's just gonna hit me from further away most likely. So not a great ability. I don't have a ton of tools in my toolkit to deal with them, especially considering they're also sicking 3 different war dogs on me and this other guy with a pitchfork. But I think my kiting or my running away a little bit plan kind of worked out. There's my cleave ability, because some of them stopped chasing me, but I took some pretty bad hits and I'm immobilized. Oh no. What can I do here? Do I have anything I can really do? Removes all negative physical and mental effects. Oh, replenish, okay. This is kind of a get out of jail free card, but it is very expensive. I actually got this in sort of a story bit. There is a story to this game. I'm not gonna spoil that for you, but there's a story with the guy who initially hires you. You might have seen him at the caravan. He's got a story, and there's this guy that he's chasing, and you gotta find more people for your caravan. And I'm not gonna spoil that for you. I'm just showing you the basics of the gameplay and the loop here. I'm going to use this elixir. I don't wanna die quite yet. And as you can see, that healed me tremendously. And now I feel heroic. So now I can not die and finish fighting these dogs. And if I died, I would end up all the way back at Manshire, or even my camp next to Manshire, before I even accepted the contract. Because it brings you back to the last time you, slept and saved the game. Luckily, killed all those guys. I used my 1,000 coin elixir, but it was well worth it because I didn't die. And let's eat our pancakes to get that pancake buff. And here's the hunter guy. Well, now it's my turn. Oh, that was cool how it just like plinked off of the boulder. I haven't seen that before. All right, now you're done for, bozo. I'm just gonna slash him up with my sword. But as you can see, these sword abilities kind of emphasize mobility a lot, which is not really what I'm going for with all this heavy armor, unfortunately. So yeah, this Arna build is not exactly good. I just kind of went with sword because she started with a sword, but I don't think it really goes well with you being like super heavily armored. But hey, maybe there is a variation of the sword build that works well. I also gained a level and did not realize it, and I'm putting my points into strength, because also when you increase agility, when you increase attributes to multiples of 5, you get like a big bonus. So it incentivizes you to put a lot of points into one attribute at a time instead of spreading them out. It incentivizes you to really specialize. So all right, now we've got another ability point. Armored combat. There's a lot of abilities to go through here. I don't want to bore you by showing you all the different abilities. Take me at my word when I tell you there's a lot of interesting options for different builds, different abilities to take, different things to do. I'm just gonna go with, since I'm committed to the sword on this Arna, I'm probably gonna re-roll Arna. I'm just gonna go with blade maintenance. As in so many RPG games, it's much better to sink all of your ability points into 1, maybe 2 weapon skills, because there's also like other skills like athletics if you're a swift character who needs more mobility, warfare just to generally have better combat options like the ability to do that war cry, dual wielding, you know, you want to have points for that if you want to dual wield, or, you know, armored combat if you have a lot of armor. So there's a lot of different trees to sink your points into. So using a lot of different weapon types, even though they're better situationally, is kind of super hard early on in the game, because as you saw, those trees go pretty deep. So I would honestly like it if this game lets you, like, oh, I gotta look for traps. If this game lets you, like, you know, use multiple different types of weapons, which is what actual, you know, for different situations, which is what actual knights did. They had a lot of different types of weapons on them that were useful in different situations. Like, go up against a guy in full armor, dude, give me the Morning Star. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be trying to whack a heavily armored person with a sword. But if you have to hyper specialize as you do in this game, then, like, you know, you're only really going to have the sword option, because you only have so many ability points to put into purely sword skills. Like that skill. All right, I'm going to do the, see, I use this skill, I walk back, he chases me, boom, I get an attack because he walked next to me. And this dog is done for. Nice, I actually need that extra food. But as you can see, like, when I was next to that dog and he tried to move away, I had a 50% chance to just, bah, hit him. And as you can see, I used that elixir, which absolutely saved my life. But there's also other ways, you know, I can use some of these healing salves to regenerate my my limb health over time. I also use these leeches, which cause pain because they are leeches sucking on you. You know, that hurts. And but they do help your immunity. So I guess, you know, the old bleeding from the age of heroic medicine, that actually works in this game. And my limb will kind of heal a bit over time. But if you go into combat with leeches on you and they put you in pain, and your character has the pain status effect, you're not going to be as good at fighting. So you don't want to, like, be putting like big clusters of leeches all over your body and then running into combat necessarily. Which is what I'm going to say before I run into combat with leeches on me. Let's see, we got a couple of henchmen over here. Let's fight them. War cry to start the combat. All right, one of them runs back. One of them runs into me. Boom, hit him with my sword. Bam, hit him with my sword again. Two of them at the same time. Slash him to pieces. All right, they're both hitting me. One of them dazed me with a hammer, I think. The hammer guy dazed me, which is not, oh, he stunned me. Can't perform any actions for 2 turns. That is not great right now. Ooh. All right, as you can see, Arna is truly suffering, but I'm gonna do my little tricky backup ability. Kill this guy. Oh, he had an axe. I don't know what stunned me. They probably had an ability. If I right-clicked on them and hit inspect, I would know more about why. Okay, a bunch of food, some purses with coins. Okay, not a bad run. Oh, also, you know, I brought these lockpicks, as you can see, which is great because you'll find chests and stuff, and then you can pick them to get the loot inside. So, you know, you got to come prepared. In the crypts, I needed a crowbar, but, you know, you also need a lockpick from time to time to make sure that you can get through locked chests and containers. And bam, I'm gonna go. Oh, whoops. I'm gonna go and show you how you can very heroically get yourself killed. And that's how we're gonna cap this one off. I'm gonna eat some good pot roast. Oh, I see, I'm nice and sated, which you're so full of food, it's harder to dodge, which is kind of funny. But let's just go and get right into it. Let's go find whatever with this. Let's go find a big horde of enemies to fight and heroically get killed by. No, I don't want any loot right now. Okay, game, you can stop being nice to me and giving me rooms full of loot to acquire with no enemies. Give me the enemies right now. I'm trying to show why this game is so hardcore. Not only do you have all these, like, you know, these systems to keep track of, like you would for a real person who's fighting. Oh, 3 enemies, let's go. You also, you know, when you die, there's a pretty bad penalty for that. You can't be, you know, this isn't baby's first video game. You gotta really be careful. And oh my God, am I actually slaughtering these guys? Oh, yes, I'm feeling so heroic. Oh, you see, my Arno over here is in pain. So it makes them more likely to fumble. It's harder for them to heal. Their morale goes down, all that sort of stuff. Yes, despite my best efforts, I absolutely slaughtered those guys. To be fair, 2 of them were basically just peasants with clubs, so let's not get too proud of ourselves. Oh yeah, and that was an item that healed the durability on a piece of cloth, a piece of cloth armor. And I haven't even gotten into like different equipment and the enchantments that they have on them. You know, equipment goes into your character build, as I mentioned when I was talking about heavy armor, just as much as you know, what skills you get do. All right, come on. All right, so we got. Let's see, we got a thug with a 2-handed sword, and we got an outlaw, you know, with a bow. And this is, you know, Pretty standard bandit combination. Wow. Maybe this Arna build isn't so bad because I'm absolutely massacring these guys despite running in quite recklessly. Come on. See if you can dagger me to death. Oh, I have a torso injury. That's probably why I'm missing a lot. Well, let's make it easy. Bam. I did my old fake out, you know. Walk back in, boom, dead. Okay, way more loot. Bunch more loot. That is not what I'm here for. I'm here to show off what happens when you get killed in this game. Oh yeah, and can use my splint, you see, helps to come prepared with splints. All these items, like, some of them are expensive, sure, like that elixir I used that saved my life earlier. You know, that is expensive for sure, but a lot of ones that'll save your bacon when you're out there, like splints, if you got a really bad injury, they're cheap. It's all about just coming prepared and making sure you have them on you. Okay, here's where I'm definitely gonna bite it. Oh no, there you go. That dude with the bill hook. Bill hooks do some serious damage. Like, that is a lethal weapon. And you see here, I died, you are dead. You can even see the log of like what happened before you died. This could be more interesting. Like, it'd be cool if you could actually like see a replay or something like Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead does, but whatever. And then, you know, you load your game and this is a different character. Back at our Arna, you see the last save that we got was when we slept. So that's, you know, that's the stakes of the game. Much like games like Escape from Tarkov, there's a real penalty for losing. And that is one of those things that really sets Stoneshard above a lot of other like kind of roguelike-ish, kind of systems heavy games, mercenary style, like melee combat / dungeon exploration games, or medieval combat, excuse me. And as you can see over here with Joanna, by the way, if you exit the game, you also get an exit save that gets consumed when you start the game again. So you, like, if you can only play for like 10 minutes, you can still do some stuff and you can just resume from your exit save. So you don't have to worry about that either. But anyway, this has been Stoneshard. Here we are, back at square one with Arna, back in the camp. I'm gonna start with a different Arna build, I think, honestly. But anyway, it's been great. Been great having you with me. This game is pretty sick. I have to say, I'm a pretty big fan of it. It, in fact, does not suck. It is great. Have a great one out there, gamers. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, like and subscribe if you want more videos like this. Of course, see ya. Peace.